Hello, and we will see here how we can change SharePoint Online site URL, as well as we will see how we can change the SharePoint shop site URL. Apart from that, we will see some other things related to how we can change or what will be the effects will happen on changing the SharePoint site URL. So these are the main topic that we are going to cover on this video. And this is a video that I have added after almost completed the course. So it will be, if you'll see something like PowerShell that I have used here, if you are not familiar with that, then you can just check out the PowerShell module and then you can come back here. But I will try to simplify that with whatever the way I can able to do. Now, imagine a scenario. Suppose you have created a site. For example, here this is marketing test, and you do the customization. Let's say it's a modern site. You do the customization, and then later you realized, okay, let's make this site as our production site. Now the URL is the problem here because marketing test the URL will come, which you might not like to see in the production site. So in that case, you want to change the site URL as marketing, but the customization should be there. So that is the thing. Now we will see how we can change these things. Previously it was not possible, but now Microsoft provides option where you can actually go and easily change the URLs. Now, there are two ways that we can do change the URL. One thing is from the SharePoint Online Admin Center, and the other one is by using the PowerShell. So we will see how we can use the SharePoint Online Management Shell, and what is the command that we can change, or we can write to change the command, change the site URL or the web address. Now, before proceeding further, now what type of sites are actually possible that we can change the URL? First of all, if it is a SharePoint Online modern team site, Office 365 group connected or Office 365 group not connected, both the things are fine. And then a communication site and classic team sites. So these are the sites that we can able to change. So remember, if you have used a classic SharePoint site and if you want to change it now, that also you can able to do. Now, what will happen to the old sites and how the redirection will work? For example, you already maybe you have shared the URL with someone, or you want whenever people will come or whenever people will type the old URL, they should redirect to the new URL, and that is what exactly will happen. Microsoft or SharePoint automatically maintain this redirection, and whenever user will enter the old URL, they will come to the new SharePoint site. Now, how it affects after the SharePoint site change URL, we will see this thing later. Let's now we will go to our SharePoint site, and then we will see how we can change the URL. So I will open a SharePoint online site. So basically this is the admin center. So this is the Office 365 admin center or Microsoft 365 admin center. From here you can go to SharePoint, which will open the SharePoint admin center. So basically this is the SharePoint admin center. And if you want to directly come to the SharePoint admin center, then just put -admin in the URL and you will come up with this page. Now on this, basically if you'll see here, let's create one site. So if you'll see here, I'll click on create, then we will create a team site. So I will type here marketing test, something like that. And if you'll see here, the site name is available, the group is available. So all these things are fine. So I'll put the username here. So this is the group owner, and in the advanced setting, if you'll see here, it is private and time zone, all these things. Click on next. Here, if you want, then you can have additional owners, or you can have members as well. So both the things are possible. So you can see here additional owner and add members. So click on finish. I will not add now. So now if you'll see here, our site is ready now. So the marketing test site is ready. If you'll open this, it will actually open the URL. So you can see here marketing test, it is coming. Now how we can change it? So basically you select this site for which you want to change, and then you can see here click on edit. So once you click on edit, you can see here marketing test. So suppose I will change it to TS info marketing. Okay, and I'll remove the test URL from here. So you can see here it is not available. So if I'll give only marketing, it is not available. So I will say marketing uh, site. So because I was testing some of the URL, so it is not available now. Though you can now might be a question comes up here, why? Let me just show it to you. Now, if you'll see here, actually no site available on marketing test, or sorry, marketing or TS info marketing like this, because I have actually deleted those sites. And if you'll actually come to deleted sites, you can see here TS info marketing is there. Okay, and this was actually the site which were previously as marketing, and I renamed it to TS info marketing. So that's the reason that those sites are not available, because there is a redirection is over there, so it is not available now. So we have to change something else. So I'll click on this and I'll click again here, edit, and I will say marketing site. Now on this, click on save. So the moment you click on save, it is actually saying, do you also want to enter a new site name? If you want to actually change the site name as well, so say yes, and then if you'll see here, it will come as marketing team site, something like that. We will give the name, and you can see here the site name also available. So two things are there now. So we change the URL and also we change the name. Now click on save. So the moment you click on save, very less time actually it will change the site URL, sorry, the site name will change, but maybe it will take some more time. Sometimes it will take around 10 minutes to reflect these changes. For example, in this case, to reflect the URL, you can see here it is still saying updating, and it might take some time for up to 10 minutes actually, according to MSTN. It can take up to 10 minutes for changes to reflect, but ideally it will take less time, and at a time you can change up to 100 site URL at a time. Now what we will do here is, if you can see here, it is still saying updating. So I'll just close it. You can see here there's a progress is going on happening here. If you actually click on this, you can see here updated site name, updating the site address. That means the site address is still going on. So I will just pause the video. The moment it will come complete, then I'll come back. So now if you'll see here, it took couple of minutes, and you can see now marketing site is there. So if you'll click on that, you can see now it is marketing site. Let me just refresh our old site, which is marketing test. And if I'll actually refresh it, you can see here now it is coming to marketing site. So that means the redirection is already done. So any user will come up with the test URL or marketing test URL, they will land up into this marketing site. So this is how we can change it actually using this using our SharePoint admin center. Let me do one thing. We will now see how we can change using the PowerShell. So for that, what we will do is we will create a classic SharePoint site, so that we will be actually able to do things properly. So now if you'll see here, I'll click on more features on this new admin center, come down, and here you can see classic SharePoint site collection page. So I'll click on this, and here we will create one classic SharePoint. So I will say new and private site collection. So we'll create a site collection here, which will be a classic SharePoint site. The reason I'm creating this, because we will use the PowerShell and we will change the classic SharePoint site URL. So I will say IT test, and I will just put it here. So you can see this is team site classic experience. So I'll put a username here, and this resources I'll put like this. So, and then I'll click on OK. So ideally it will take some time to create this particular or our site, which is the classic SharePoint site. You can see here it will be in progress mode. Now what we will do here is, if you are new to SharePoint Online Management Cell, then you can just download the latest version of SharePoint Online Management Shell, and you can install it. So basically, if I will just search for SharePoint Online Management Shell, you will get to, you can see here, this is the SharePoint Online Management Shell. So this is where you can actually install. If you click on download, you have two options are there. It is 64-bit and then 86, or this is the 32-bit. Now on the 64-bit, this is a Windows 10 machine, so I have installed the 64-bit. If you have already installed this SharePoint Online Management Shell, you can just uninstall that and you install this one, because this feature, or the rename feature, is available on the on the latest version of SharePoint Online Management Shell. So if you have already installed, just uninstall that from the control panel and then you install back this one. So this is what we require. Now for this, what I will do is, once you install that, then you can search for SharePoint Online Management Shell. So if you do not see this option, that means it is not installed. So click on this run as administrator mode. So I'll click on yes. So you can see here now your SharePoint Online Management Shell is there. So on this, basically what we will do here is, first thing is we need to connect to the SharePoint Online site. So how we can do is, there is a command available known as connect-SPO service, and then we need to provide the SharePoint admin center URL. So the command will be like this. I have the command in the notepad, so I'll just copy it. So if you'll see here, this is connect-SPO service. You can see here, I'll just put the command here. So connect-SPO service -URL, and you can see here, this is my admin center URL. So once you click on enter, it will ask you to put the credential. So I'll put the username first of all here. So you can see here, this is the username, and then click on next, and I'll put the password here. So I have the password, I can put it here. So once you put the password here, now next thing, if you'll see here, now it is connected. Microsoft provides a command which is known as start-SPO site rename. So this command is available on the SharePoint Online Management Shell, which will by using which actually you will be able to uh, rename a SharePoint site URL, site name, or you can rename both the things also. So this is the command, and I will this commands and whole document I will share in this with this video, so that you can have the important links and the commands which you can follow it. So the document will be there. Now this command, as I said, you can rename the site URL, title, or the both the things. So this is the command. So identity, and then this is the old URL, and then hyphen new site URL, and we need to provide the new site URL for which you want to create it. Now to do this, what we will do is, I will just open my site here. So let's see if our site is already created or not. So if you can see here, now our site is created. So this is the IT test site. You can see here, this is the site which has been created, and this is the classic site. You can see from the look and feel. So I will go here, I will just modify the command here. I will put this one, and the new URL will be, we will remove the test from here. So now I will copy this and I will put this in our online management cell. You can click on OK and say yes. So actually now it will show a status message for us. You can see here, this is the current site URL, this is the new site URL, and then there's a GUID, and we don't want to change the new site URL, site title. So this, the reason it is blank. So whatever the existing title, it will be the same. And the state, you can see here, it is not started, but ideally behind the scene it is started already. So if I will actually go to my active sites, you can see here actually there is a updation is going on for this IT test site. So this is actually the status. You can see here, updating status, this one, right? So, and it is showing it still, it is it is updating. So that means all these things has not yet done. So it will take some time, and you can see here, still it is Okay, I think it's done now. You can see here now it is done almost. So if I'll click on that, now you can see here the URL is IT. And if I will go to my IT test site, I will just hit refresh. Now you can see here it redirect me to the IT site. So PowerShell, it took little less time compared to the browser, but this is how two different ways that we can actually change the site URL. Now here is the point, what will actually happen and what are the things basically we can do on this. First of all, we cannot change address of a SharePoint hub site or site that are logged or on hold or the site which has BCS connection. So these things, this type of sites, we will not be able to change the URL, and the permission will not be changed. How it will not be changed? Because what will happen exactly is whatever the URL or whoever the users having access to the old site, they will be having the same access in the new site. So we don't need to worry about the permission. User will not come up and complain that I have problem in accessing the site. Similarly, if you have shared the SharePoint site with other users, then when they will click on that, now the old link, they will actually redirect to the new SharePoint site URL. Similarly, OneDrive sync app will automatically actually sync to your SharePoint site URL. So after you change the address, so you will not have any problem on the OneDrive sync also. All the files, this is an important thing we should remember, that all the files whichever are presented in the recycle bin, those will be lost. So you cannot actually get it from the recycle bin. So the best thing is you can change, you can check it before renaming, and if you feel that these are the files which we may require, then you can probably restore and then you can rename it. For Office 365 group connected site, after the site address is changed, user would not be able to view the Teams files within the Teams app. But if you'll actually access by selecting open with SharePoint, then it will go to the new URL. If you are using a newer version of mobile app like Android and iOS, then the SharePoint mobile apps will automatically detect the new site URL, provided you have the updated version. Now, if you are using SharePoint hosted apps or provided hosted app, then probably you need to republish the app once you change the site address. All the Microsoft Flow or Automate, whatever you have wrote, those things you need to be recreated after the SharePoint site address change. Similarly, if you are using Power Apps, then you need to delete all the existing data sources, and then you can add the new data connections. But most of the case or most of the things will work as expected. If the SharePoint site is associated with a hub site, then you need to reassociate that. So once the address is changed, you just need to reassociate that hub site. If you have info path forms, then you have to republish because the old URLs will not work in the info path forms. Similarly, if you have SharePoint workflows, 2013 workflows, you need to republish those workflows with the new site address. So basically, those will not also not work. Any SharePoint site customizations or the embedded code which will refer to the old URLs, those you have to go manually and change it. Suppose somewhere you gave a path for your style sheet in a script editor or a part or something, then you have to actually go and change it. So else it will not be there. Now let's go into a little bit of inside how exactly the redirection happens. So actually Microsoft, whenever you will delete a site, there will be a redirection will be created. How we can get it? If you'll actually run this command, you will be able to see what are the sites which are redirection enabled. I have the command, I will just put it, and I will actually put this in the document. So all these commands, everything you will get in the document as well. So I will open this and I will just hit enter. Now you can see here this many redirections are there actually. So if you'll see here ITTS info, all these sites redirection is enabled, and if you'll click on that, it will now go to a new redirection URL. And if you want to remove, or if you want actually you don't want to you don't want the redirection to happen, then in those case you can use the remove hyphen spo site, and you can provide the site URL. So basically the old site URL. So this will actually permanently delete the site, and next time when you will click on that old URL, it will say 404 not found, rather it will redirect. So if you really not to redirect, then you can use this remove -spo site command. And so next we will see here is how we can change the SharePoint Online subsite URL. So this is pretty easy. So you can, I will go to a subsite. So we'll basically create a subsite. Suppose this is our marketing site, and in this we will create a subsite. So I will go to the site content page, and in this site content page I'll say new subsite, and I will say my subsite test, and I'll put this, I'll create a new site with no Office 365 group, and I'll click on create. So once you click on create, you can see here, now this is our subsite, my test subsite test. Now I don't want this test to be there. So in this case, we don't need to go to the Office 365 Admin Center or PowerShell. You can also directly do it from here. So go to the settings, and then if you'll see here, site information, and go to view all site settings. So basically we need to go to the view all site settings page, and now you can see here title, description, and logo. Click on that, and down if you'll see here, I don't want this test, so I'll remove it, and I will click on create. Also you can change this you can also change this site title as well. So I can just put something like this, and then I'll click on OK. So once you will click on OK, now we can see here, I'll click on to home. So now the URL got changed. So this is how we can actually create you can create, or you can change the site address or the URL using PowerShell and the SharePoint Online Admin Center. But make sure you'll go through the points that what it will affect if you'll change this URL, because let's say you are using most of the Flow and or the Power Automate, and then you will change the URL. Now those things will not work. So you have to do a proper plan before changing these things. So we will see some other things in the other videos.